The narcissist's life without you after the discard. This is what they are thinking and saying about you. Hey there, welcome back to our video. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss any of our latest content. Today, we're diving into a topic that many of you have been curious about. What happens to a narcissist's life without you after the discard? This is a question that weighs heavily on the minds of those who have been in relationships with narcissists. It's a journey into understanding how they cope, adapt, and move forward after ending things with you. Let's dive in and uncover the truths behind the narcissist's life post-discard. When a narcissist discards you, it can feel like a devastating blow. You've likely been through a roller coaster of emotions, manipulated, and ultimately left feeling used and discarded. But what happens on their end? How do they navigate life without you, and what are the dynamics that come into play? Immediately after the discard, a narcissist often experiences a sense of relief. This may seem counterintuitive, especially given the intense and sometimes dramatic nature of the relationship. But for the narcissist, discarding someone is a way to alleviate the burden of maintaining a facade. Relationships, even those built on manipulation, require effort and energy. The narcissist, constantly seeking new sources of admiration and validation, may find the routine and predictability of a committed relationship suffocating. By discarding you, they feel a temporary sense of liberation, free from the demands of pretending to care deeply. However, this sense of relief is often short-lived. Narcissists thrive on attention and validation, and without a primary source to feed their ego, they quickly start to feel the void. This is where the hunt for new supply begins. A narcissist's life post-discard is typically marked by a frantic search for new people to fill the gap you've left behind. They might jump into a new relationship quickly, often with someone they'd been grooming as a backup, even while still with you. This new person becomes the next source of admiration and validation, and the cycle begins anew. The initial phase of a new relationship is always the honeymoon phase, where the narcissist puts on their most charming and engaging persona. This is the stage where they mirror their new partner's desires and aspirations, creating an illusion of the perfect match. This new supply is dazzled by the attention and affection, unaware that they are stepping into the same cycle you once experienced. The narcissist's need for constant admiration drives them to maintain this facade for as long as it's beneficial, but ultimately, the cracks will start to show. During this time, the narcissist may also engage in behaviors aimed at reinforcing their grandiose self-image. This could include seeking out social validation through social media, throwing themselves into work or hobbies where they can be the center of attention, or even attempting to smear your reputation as a way to maintain their perceived superiority. They need to reassure themselves and others that the discard was justified, and that they are, in fact, thriving without you. Interestingly, narcissists often keep tabs on their former partners, even after the discard. This might be through social media stalking, mutual friends, or direct contact under the guise of checking in. Their curiosity about your post-discard life is driven by a need to see if you've moved on, or if you're still affected by their absence. If they see you struggling, it reinforces their sense of power and control. Conversely, if they see you thriving, it can trigger feelings of jealousy and inadequacy, which they will likely try to mask with indifference, or by downplaying your successes. As the new relationship progresses, the same patterns that characterize your relationship with the narcissist will inevitably re-emerge. The honeymoon phase fades, and the narcissist's true nature begins to show. The new partner, once idealized, becomes just another person who fails to meet the narcissist's impossible standards. The cycle of manipulation, devaluation, and eventual discard starts again. This repetitive cycle highlights the narcissist's inability to form genuine, lasting connections and their perpetual quest for new sources of validation. For the narcissist, life without you is not about personal growth or self-reflection. They rarely, if ever, look inward to address their own issues. Instead, they externalize their problems, blaming others for their dissatisfaction and unhappiness. Their lack of empathy and introspection prevents them from learning from past relationships, ensuring that they remain trapped in a cycle of short-lived, superficial connections. In some cases, if a narcissist finds that their new supply isn't providing the level of admiration and validation they crave, they might attempt to hoover you back into their life. Hoovering is a tactic where they try to pull you back into the relationship, using manipulation, guilt, or charm to make you reconsider. This can be particularly confusing and emotionally taxing, especially if you've been working hard to move on. The narcissist's motivation here is not genuine love or regret, but rather a desire to regain control and ensure they have a backup source of validation. Despite the turmoil and chaos they create, narcissists often maintain a public facade of success and happiness. They are skilled at presenting an image of a thriving life, even if behind closed doors, their reality is quite different. This disparity between their public persona and private life can make it difficult for others to see the true nature of their struggles. The constant need to uphold this facade adds to their internal stress and insecurity, perpetuating their need for external validation. In conclusion, the narcissist's life without you after the discard is a continuation of their relentless pursuit of admiration and validation. They move from one source of supply to the next, repeating the same patterns of manipulation and superficial connections. While they may initially feel a sense of relief and freedom, this is quickly replaced by the need to fill the void left by your absence. Their inability to form genuine, lasting relationships ensures that they remain in a cycle of short-lived, tumultuous connections. Understanding these dynamics can help you protect yourself from being drawn back into their web of manipulation and can empower you to move forward with your own life. Thank you so much for watching and being part of our community. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth discussions and content. We truly appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Stay informed, stay empowered, and take care. The mistakes of narcissists who make God angry with him and give him a curse. Hello, wonderful viewers. I'm thrilled to be back, and today's video is truly special. Just thinking about it brings a smile to my face. Why, you ask? Because the narcissist made a colossal blunder. They underestimated you. Yes, my friends, they failed to grasp the extent of your power, and we're about to dive into the delightful details. Get comfortable, grab a snack, and let's explore. So, how did they make this mistake? Well, they erroneously believed they could control and manipulate you indefinitely. They thought you'd keep falling for their toxic tactics, the gaslighting, the mind games. But oh, what a massive mistake on their part. Did they not realize your intuition and sharp insight? Gradually, you exposed their true nature, and not only did you recognize it, but you also put a decisive stop to it. Let's be clear. The narcissist invested time and effort trying to deceive and undermine you. But now you stand tall with boundaries, standards, and clarity. No more being taken for granted. You're no longer a victim. You've reclaimed your power. The narcissist underestimated your strength, unable to fathom the lengths you'd go to restore your well-being and dignity. Today, We're celebrating that strength, the power within each of us. So, let's raise our spirits high and revel in this joyful video together. Your power and knowledge should never be underestimated. Did the narcissist not realize they were playing with fire by messing with you? Oh, how clueless they were, thinking they could play their games forever, manipulating and abusing you on every level. They took so much from you, left you feeling worthless, small, and insignificant. Do they genuinely believe they can get away with this? Certainly not. Allow me to share a truth. Throughout the entire time, they projected their insecurities, flaws, and shortcomings onto you, as if engaging in a twisted game with the sole rule being to take everything you possess. However, both you and I know this assumption lacks factual support. You, with your intuitive understanding, perceived the truth and steadfastly refused to buy into their lies. We've all faced trauma and challenges, yet you always sensed something was amiss with this individual. From the very beginning, your intuition whispered to you, though doubts occasionally crept in, questioning, "Am I overthinking this? Maybe they're not so bad." Nevertheless, your intuition remained a constant companion, planting the seed of knowledge within you. It illuminated the fact that despite outward appearances, something wasn't right. You maintained keen observation, witnessing every occurrence and experiencing the accompanying negative emotions. Your engagement with yourself and synchronization with your emotions were truly remarkable. Remember this: navigating the twists and turns of life is possible only by relying on your inherent wisdom and intuition. The audacity of the narcissist led them to believe they could perpetuate their entitled and distorted ways without facing consequences. They assumed you were too naive to discern their subtle manipulation, viewing your emotions as a mere tool for their exploitation, a clever illusion meant to convince you of your supposed feebleness. It was all just a game to them. They distorted reality, weaving a deceptive web of lies and twisted narratives, arrogantly confident that everyone could be brainwashed like them. Immersed in an alternate fantasy world, they tirelessly worked to manipulate your emotions, pushing you to a point where distinguishing truth from their lies became nearly impossible, and their version of reality felt like your own. However, their critical mistake lay in underestimating your strength and knowledge. You were not a pawn in their twisted games. With your intuition and inner wisdom, you comprehended their actions, recognizing the menacing nature of their behavior and its impact on you. Despite their belief that they could control and diminish you, you stood firm, refusing to let them undermine your worth and destroy your confidence. What the narcissist failed to grasp was that they were projecting their flaws and insecurities onto you, and their illusions crumbled in the face of your intuition and inner understanding. Despite the trauma and challenges, you remain resolute and connected to yourself. You acknowledge that the narcissist's actions were unacceptable, and you vow never to tolerate such mistreatment again. Guided by your inner power and wisdom, you continue to live in your truth. Stand tall in that knowledge, understanding that nothing can diminish your inherent power or worth. The narcissist's arrogance knew no bounds as they presumptuously believed you would forever remain oblivious to their manipulative tactics. They saw your emotions as an easy target, assuming they could effortlessly mold and distort you to suit their desires. Living dangerously on the precipice between fantasy and reality, they wove a perilous web of lies, anticipating your compliance with their distorted way of life. Their relentless efforts aimed to bend and warp the truth, coercing you to adopt their skewed perspective. Initially, their manipulations took hold, but deep within, you sensed the wrongdoing of their actions. The narcissist believed they had successfully broken you, trapping you within their manipulative web indefinitely. However, they couldn't have been more mistaken. Their constraints did not stifle your capacity to heal, grow, and emerge stronger after enduring such torment. You surpassed their expectations. They assumed that analysis alone constituted true healing, but little did they realize that genuine recovery stemmed from self-awareness and self-actualization. It necessitated revisiting, reassessing, and reconstructing everything in your mind, free from the confines of their distorted fantasy world and grounded in the harsh realities of life. Their love for the fantasy world blinded them to the possibility of true healing as they recoiled from confronting the reality of their twisted personalities. For them, living engrossed in the world they created was the only way to exist, perpetuating a cycle devoid of genuine self-awareness and growth. You, however, refused to let their delusions dictate your life. Utilizing your inner strength and wisdom, you liberated yourself, not only surviving but thriving. While the narcissist remains ensnared in their own illusions, you flourish and grow in ways beyond their comprehension. The narcissist remains stagnant, unchanging, and non-evolving. Like a predictable clock, they repeat the same behaviors, recycle experiences, and manipulate different individuals in a never-ending cycle. They lack genuine connection with themselves and others, instead inhabiting a separate reality constructed upon an inherent need for control and domination. When they subject their victims to their twisted ways, they realize a crucial element. They need their victims to immerse themselves in a fantasy world. Night and day, they toil to ensure that their victims never escape this illusion, employing the basics of brainwashing. Continuous lies, the fabrication of alternate realities, and a calculated effort to prevent the truth from emerging define their manipulative tactics. You might question the motivation behind such harm. It's simple. They don't want you to leave. Their aim is to maintain power over you, keeping you perpetually around. In their strategic mindset, trapping you means securing a continuous supply of your validation and attention. They have no intention of relinquishing their grip. Once they have you where they want you, the idea of seeking new individuals loses its appeal. Their malevolent scheme aims to keep you entranced and under their control. However, you've broken free. You exude strength, power, and wisdom, impervious to any narcissist's attempts to breach your resilience. Your life is unbound by their manipulative chains, limitless in potential, while they remain confined in their self-created hell. The narcissist is aware that they cannot indefinitely retain you in their subterfuge. They understand that, eventually, you and other victims will discern their distorted methods and acknowledge a fundamental flaw in their character, that something is seriously amiss. In response, they craft schemes and plots, utilizing every available tool to ensnare you in their dark and twisted fantasy realm. They believe that prolonging a person's stay will validate the effectiveness of their manipulations.